I feel dynamite. I like me, accept me, I love me. I'm going to have a super fantastic day today because I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed, too glad to be sad, too anointed to be disappointed. I'm too elated to be agitated. I'm too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, too legit to quit, and now I'm too saved not to be getting paid. Circumstances are aligning themselves in my favor. I am healthy, physically fit, and intellectually equipped. I have wisdom far beyond my years. I'm an extraordinary person with incredible abilities, which I would use to add value to other people's lives. Knowing that as I empower others to reach their dreams, I will automatically reach my own. I anticipate meeting the person or group of people today who are willing to use their power, wealth, and influence to empower me to reach my dreams. All day long, people will go out of their way to bless me. Today, I will add great value to someone's life. I will show compassion to those in need. I will give strength to the weak and inspiration to the weary. Someone needs what I have to offer, and I gladly make myself available. I embrace abundance, and it embraces me. I'm abundant in every good way. I am an abundance magnet. I like money, and it likes me, and it's attracted to me, and it comes abundantly from many sources. Money flows freely and frequently from expected and unexpected places in exchange for the value that I consistently bring to the marketplace. I circulate my money wisely because it's a tool to empower those in need, and it's also a way of keeping score how many people's lives I added value to. I may have been broke, busted, and disgusted, but now I declare I am rich, I am growing, and I am overflowing. My business is booming, checks are zooming, and I'm happy on purpose. I'm experiencing great victories, supernatural turnarounds, and miraculous breakthroughs in the midst of great impossibilities. I am an overcomer. And if my mountain can be removed, I'll develop and practice my mountain climbing skills. I may experience a setback, but setbacks are only setups for comebacks. As a matter of fact, setbacks pave the way for comebacks. I'll make lemonade out of life's lemons. And if life dares to knock me down, I'll fall on my back, realizing that as long as I can look up, by the grace of God, I can get up. I commit to paying for my dreams with preparation and perspiration so I won't have to live with my nightmares of regret. I do not procrastinate because procrastination leads to devastation. It is the assassination of my destination. Thus, I will act now. I'm a doer. I get results that last. I now release the champion that is inside of me. I am the leader that multitudes of people are looking for. So I choose to succeed today and every day hereafter. Watch out, world, here I come. Or I'll just say, watch out, world, here we come. So let's take a deep breath through our nose, symbolizing that we're receiving those words that were spoken over us. Ready? And now let it out. All righty, all righty. Well, listen, I get the distinct pleasure of introducing my friend, an incredible, powerful human being. His name is Jerry Clark. We call him the Rhino. Now, first of all, just so you know, Jerry, he doesn't normally use his electronic rooster, right? But he was so committed to making sure he got on this call because he usually just sleeps until he's done sleeping, right? That's the lifestyle he created for himself. But Jerry, you're going to hear again, powerful, incredible training. But I'm telling you, most of the people in network marketing and home-based business have been influenced by him one way or another. As a matter of fact, one of the companies I went to the top, and the owner and I would fly around the corporate jet. Well, one of the conventions, they had me and Jim Rohn speaking, and one of the guys said, "Man, you ever heard of the Rhino?" I was like, "No." He said, "Well, he's here speaking for my group." And they said, "Yeah, this guy made like $600,000 last month." I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, he's a brother too." I said, "A brother, like a double brother, like look like me?" Oh my goodness. He said, "I'm coming." And man, I tell you, I heard he speak. I think he had an $800 package. I bought that $800 package. Matter of fact, one guy there said, "Man, I bought Jerry's package before. He's so good, I'm buying it again." Anyway, I'm telling you. So Jerry, again, personal development to the T. I mean, this guy. Many of you heard his story last time, and you kept saying, "When's he going to come back?" Well, guess what? He's back this morning, and you're going to hear with great delight. I mean, this man, as his powerful products that he produces, like standing on the shoulders of giants. I mean, I could go on and on, the personality, the colors and so forth, the magic of colors. And when you talk about influence and human potential, the name Jerry Clark comes up. And so, again, he's got a heart as big as Texas. The guy loves to have fun. And you're going to love his laugh, by the way, also. And not only that, he knows the facts. And you know what, my friend? He's a team player, and he's here to coach the team to victory. You know, Myron Golden and I, we speak of these. Myron has this one-year millionaire live event. I'll never forget the first time I tried to connect Myron with Josh. I said, man, you need to have Jerry speak at your event. He's like, Jerry, why would I have Jerry? I said, dude, trust me. And after Myron had him, he's like, oh my goodness, that's got to be my mentor. And Myron's never been the same since. So Jerry Clark, man, take it away. Teach us how to charge through the jungle like a rhino.
Charge to the jungle like a rhino, or charge to the ocean like a shark, right? That is awesome. Dr. Breakthrough is the man with the master plan, and I appreciate you inviting me on again to be here. Even though I did have to set the electronic rooster, I don't do that for very many people, as you know. But for Dr. Stan Harris, I definitely will wake up and be able to share whatever wisdom I have with all of you. So I'm going to get right to it in this particular session here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys some information that was highly transformative for me. But the more important thing is that it could be highly transformative to you. But really, if you learn to do what I'm going to share with you, it's going to allow you to transform your whole team and transform. You know, when you transform your team, the one thing you got to think about is that means you're going to transform your volume. When you transform your volume, you're going to transform those bonus checks, right? You're going to start making more and more and more. And this information, it kind of stirred out of frustration. This is kind of how it started for me. It's interesting how frustration can really bring about information, especially if you're seeking a transformation. So if you're seeking a transformation, a lot of times, you know, you start seeking this transformation, and in the process, you get frustrated. So it's frustration comes, and then you start realizing that, man, if I can get the proper information, and then if I can engage in implementation of that information, then that's how the transformation can occur. And that's what pretty much happened for me. So for me, the way it happened is I got started in network marketing back in 1987. So I was a young guy. I was like 19 years old, second year in college. I'll never forget it. And I remember going to a briefing, and I remember seeing these people talk about all this great stuff that can happen in your life. And I didn't know what they were talking about. They were talking about PBBV, PBV. I thought it was a disease. I didn't know what it was, but it sounded pretty exciting. I was like, man, this sounds pretty good. You get these young people up here talking about they're making all this money. I think this is great. I'm going to get started. So I got started. And I started doing the things that they told me to do. They say, you want to talk to people, you want to invite them, come and take a look at presentations, see what we have to offer so they can make a decision and all this stuff. So they taught me all the stuff to do, and I started doing all of it. Things started going real well, actually. I started bringing in people, getting them in front of the leaders. They saw the presentation. They were exposed to the information. Some of them decided to get started. Some of them just decided to purchase the product. Everything was going great. Started making a little bit of money, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month. And within about 9 months, I was making over $10,000 a month within about 9 months. And that was supposed to be pretty good. I didn't know. I just thought it was normal. I thought everyone should be doing that, because if you just do what you're told, then you're going to get the results. And I just thought that was normal. And what happened, though, is I started realizing that there were people that were getting started. They were not producing those type of results. They would get started, they'll start to do a little bit of action, and then all of a sudden they will stop, they will quit, they will go back to just doing what they were doing before. They would kind of give up on their dreams, their goals, their ambitions. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you said you had all this really exciting things you want to do with your life, and you were talking about how you want to be able to fire your boss, and how you want to be able to have time freedom, and how you wanted to be able to be control of your time and be control of your money and be able to do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, and all this stuff. And now all of a sudden you just stop, you just give up. I didn't know what was going on. I was confused on why people were doing this. So one day I happened to be at Stanford University, And I wasn't there because I was a student there. I was there because a girlfriend of mine at that time was actually a student at Stanford University. I went there to pick her up like I would do like every other week or something like that. And this time I was walking down the halls, kind of just waiting for her, just walking down the hall. And all of a sudden I saw this, or one of the professors that I had recognized, because at the university that I went to, which was not too far away from Stanford, I actually noticed that we read this guy's book. You know, we used his textbook. And I'm thinking, oh man, this guy is pretty cool. So I went up to his door and I saw he had an offer to allow people to set 20-minute appointments to come and visit him. Just, you know, you can just sign your name in and you can come and visit him for 20 minutes. And I noticed there was an appointment coming up in like 5 minutes that was blank. There was no one had took that spot. There was one spot available and it was coming up in like 5 minutes. So I put my name there. It didn't say you have to be a student at Stanford. I put my name there because I wanted to talk to this professor. I wanted to tell him about how we read his books and everything is great and I appreciate what he does and all this stuff. Sure enough, I got in there and he said, okay, so your name is Jerry, right? I said, yeah. And he said, so how can I help you? And I just, all of a sudden, I don't know why, but I switched from, because I do know why, because he said one other thing after he said, why, how can I help you? He said, now this session doesn't have to be about school. It can be about anything you want. So how can I help you? That's kind of what he said. And I was like, what? It could be anything? You know, that kind of like sparked. So remember, I was in network marketing. I was having these challenges with these people. And this guy was a psychologist. So this was one of the world's most renowned psychologists on the planet, right? And we're reading his psychology books in my college and everything else. Very, very famous guy. And so I thought, if anyone is going to know the answer, maybe this guy might know. So I told him, I said, okay, great. I don't want to talk about school. I do have a question about business. And he said, really? He said, what's that? I said, well, are you familiar with direct sales or network marketing? Are you familiar with that? And he said, well, I'm a little bit familiar. I'm not too familiar, but I do know of a couple people that are doing that business. So how can I help you with that? And I said, well, it's not about the business particularly. It's more about the people in the business and some of their actions. And I feel that since you are one of the world's most renowned psychologists, you might have some insight. He said, okay, what's the problem? And I said, well, the problem is I'm getting these people started. They are all excited about their dreams and their goals and their ambitions and what they want to do and all this stuff. We have a system to help take them along the way. And all they got to do is do the system and they'll be able to get results, just like I've been able to get the results. And he said, okay, so you're basically teaching people what to do and you expect them to just do it, right? That's what you're saying? I said, basically, yeah. You know, because they have a reason to do it. They have dreams, they have goals, ambitions, and all this. And this guy told me something that was very fascinating. He said, Jerry, let me tell you something about people. And I said, well, go for it. And he said, basically, people are getting started in a business like that because they want to transform something about their life, right? They want to have some kind of a breakthrough in their life in some area, whether it's money. Most of the time in that business, it's going to be they want to have a breakthrough in the money, a financial situation, sometimes relationships, you know, it's just different areas that they want to have breakthroughs in. Would you say that's a good assessment? I said, yeah, that's a good assessment. That's why people come. They're all excited about being able to transform the quality of their life. He said, yes. He said, and so you expect to just give them the information and then expect them to do it because you know if they do it, they're going to get the results, right? I said, yes, that makes sense. It's very logical. And he said, well, the first thing I want you to understand is that people are not logical. He said, people are emotional. And so they're just not logical at all. That's the first thing I want you to understand. And then the second thing he said was that I want you to understand this, Jerry. And he said this big thing, and I'm going to just say this maybe a couple times for you guys. If you want to jot it down, feel free to jot it down. But he said this, and it really started to change everything about the way I thought about really transforming my group and being able to be successful in networking. He said, Jerry, major transformation and breakthroughs occur when there's an alteration in beliefs. And then he said, most people never question their existing beliefs. Thus, transformation and breakthroughs never really occur for most people. I'm going to repeat that because this was something that really started me on a path to generating millions and millions of dollars once I understood it. once I understood what he was talking about here, and it took me a while to understand. I didn't understand it right when he told me. So let me repeat that. He said major transformation and breakthroughs occur when there is an alteration in beliefs. He said, but most people never question their existing beliefs. That thus transformation and breakthroughs never really occur for most people. So I want you all to think about that for a second. Is that if you really want to have a major breakthrough like Dr. Breakthrough is teaching you on a regular basis here, if you really want to have that, it's going to occur as a result of an alteration of a belief system. Because the reason you are where you are right now is because of some kind of belief system. So the reason that you're not generating whatever you want to generate, or the reason you are generating whatever you are generating, is because of a belief system of some sort. And the thing is that it's kind of like a fish doesn't know that they're in water. It's like you don't know that you're in your stuck belief. You really don't know. Because as human beings, our main objective, our main biological imperative is self-preservation. And so at least whatever beliefs we have is keeping us alive, because we're alive right now. Everyone who's listening right now, you're alive. So your biological imperative is being met. And so the fascinating thing, though, is when he told me this, I said, oh, my goodness. So basically, all I got to do is go around and start telling people their beliefs suck. He said, no, that's not what I'm saying. He said, what do you think is going to happen if you go around telling people that their beliefs are horrible or their beliefs are disempowering and their beliefs suck or whatever? What do you think is going to happen? I said, people are probably going to resist. He said, yes, that's the last thing you want is for people to resist. I said, well, what do you want me to do? I mean, you just told me the secret, and now you're telling me I can't tell nobody? He said, no, I'm going to tell you another secret to how you can pull this off. And I said, okay, well, what's that? He said, the secret, being able to alter people's beliefs, is to be able to do it without them knowing that you're doing it. He said, that's the secret. You want to be able to alter people's beliefs without them knowing that you're doing that, because then there's nothing for them to resist. And I said, oh, my goodness, this is absolutely amazing. So I was like, okay, great. So how do I do that? He said, oh, our 20 minutes are up. And then he found out that I wasn't a student, and he said, that's fine. You don't have to be a student at Stanford. He said, if you want to know more, I can share more. I have regular consulting hours. I can charge you a fee for you to come and do some regular sessions, and I can share with you exactly what you have to do in order to be able to pull this off. And so sure enough, I did that for several months. I paid this guy, and I ended up paying him a lot of money, like 5 figures worth of money, to learn how to implant empowering beliefs and philosophies in people's subconscious minds without them knowing that I'm doing that. Because once you can get that, you're going to set yourself up in a big way. Now, I know some of you probably saying, well, how do I do that? Do I have to pay 5 figures to figure it out? No, how about if I just kind of share it with you right now? Is that okay? I know you guys are probably like, oh, good. I can share with you right now. But before I do that, Dr. Stan brought me on to share something about this jungle rhinos and all this. So let me just share that with you, and then I'll come back to this, okay? So let me just share this with you. So first of all, here's what we got to understand as network marketers, is that when we are, like born and conditioned as human beings, we are typically not born and conditioned to be magnificent. We're typically not born and conditioned to be great. We're typically not conditioned to be that way. We're born to be that way, but we're not conditioned to be that way. We're typically conditioned to be average and ordinary, right? We're typically conditioned to go to school, get a good job, and work and work and work. And basically, that's what we're conditioned to do. And eventually, one day, you should be able to retire, and you should have some money and all this other stuff. That's what we're conditioned to do. And you notice that by people being conditioned to do that, you notice where most people end up. So most people follow that exact system, and they still end up, dead or dead broke, right? Broke, busted, and disgusted, I think is what Dr. Stan was talking about. So they still end up that way. So here's what I realized. I realized that people that are in that particular position, it's like they're in the cow pastures. So they're in this cow pasture, and they're just browsing around and grazing around and just, eating the grass, whatever they can get while they're there. They're kind of fenced in, so they feel that there's not too far out that they can adventure. They can't really go too many places. They're in the cow pastures, kind of like cows do in the cow pastures, just chewing cud, looking up, and just saying moo. That's what most people do. So they're in the cow pastures. But then there's this hope, or there's this promise, there's this vision that we all know that there's something better that's available. And I call it the land of paradise. And this is your preferred reality. This is where you prefer to be. This is where you can do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, without having to worry about the price and all that stuff. And we all know that this place exists because we've heard of people talking about this place who's been there. We've heard of people, you've seen them bring pictures and so forth and show pictures of this place. And so we know it exists. And we know we would like to be there, but we don't know how to get there. So when we get started in network marketing, what happens is that we have a choice. Their choice is that we can start to progress towards this land of paradise, or we can basically stay in the cow pastures. There's going to be a great pull, like a magnetic pull, to try to keep you in the cow pastures. Let me explain that. Nevertheless, there's a great journey ahead of you if you allow yourself to enter this new arena. It's like the thing in the middle of the cow pasture and the land of paradise. There's this gap. That gap in the middle is what I call the jungle. And the only way for you to get to the land of paradise is you got to enter the jungle. And so what happens is that you get started in network marketing. This is like, and you start doing something. This is like you entering the jungle. And when you enter the jungle is a different atmosphere than the cow pastures, of course. Cow pasture got all this land. You got, this is just, you can browse around, not that much danger floating around. You can kind of see it when it's coming almost and so forth. But when you're in the jungle, man, you got trees, you got all kinds of stuff. You got, all kinds of things that are, other animals and creatures in there that might be trying to stop you. You got all kinds of stuff in there that's kind of dangerous. And in order for you to navigate the jungle successfully, you're going to have to go through it. You have to go through all these things. You have to get good at it too. And so what happens, though, is when you enter the jungle from the cow pastures as a network marketer, there's a committee in the jungle, okay? Now, many of you have heard of Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law says whatever could go wrong probably will. And I thought, after experiencing network marketing for a while and experiencing what everyone went through, there had to be more than one Murphy. Murphy had to have help. And so I found out that Murphy had 5 members on his board. And the members of Murphy's, I call them Murphy's Committee, their goal is to stop you from making it to the land of paradise. That's their objective. And they are very good at it. They train their entire lives to be good at stopping people from making it to the land of paradise. Their goal is to get you to go back to the cow pasture. Their goal is to get you to stay average and ordinary. That's their goal, and they're very good at it. So when you first enter the jungle, Murphy number 1 is going to send your friends and family after you. Now, these are people that are typically in the cow pastures, and they want you to be in the cow pastures. They notice that you have ventured out. You have went beyond what you're supposed to go. You have went beyond the fence and entered into this unknown domain that they know is dangerous, and they don't want you to get hurt. So they're going to tell you, hey, that thing is a pyramid. That thing doesn't work. I know someone else who was in that type of thing, and they just lost a lot of money. They kept going to all these trainings. Nothing really worked out for them and so forth. You might as well come back where it's safe and secure, and you can get your regular pay, and you can get your medical benefits and all this other stuff, all the things you can get in the cow pastures. They trying to get you back there, and a lot of people go back to the cow pastures. They cannot handle their friends and family. Their friends and family is enough for them to go back. Murphy number 1 is typically enough for most people to fold, and they go right back to the cow pastures. And sure enough, when they get back to the cow pastures, the cows are really happy. Yay, we know you would come to your senses. But for those of you who are on these calls here with Dr. Stan, Dr. Breakthrough, you are the type of people who are going to continue to charge through the jungle. And once you continue to move through the jungle, because remember, the only way you're going to make it to the land of paradise is to go through the jungle. If you continue to go, you're going to get to Murphy number 2. And Murphy number 2 is going to inject you with a dose of poverty consciousness. And so what Murphy number 2 does is, as you know, in network marketing, it's really important. We're always talking about coming to events, right? And we're talking about, going to the events, the power of going to the events and going to convention and things like that. And a lot of us, we don't go because we're thinking that, that's going to cost money. I don't think I got the money to do it. I got to do this other stuff. Or I went last year. I already know kind of what they're going to be talking about and all this other stuff. So Murphy number 2 injects you with doubt about going to the events. And because Murphy number 2 knows that one of the best ways for you to make it through the jungle is to go to the events. If you go to the events, you're going to be empowered, you're going to be inspired, and you're going to get the juice and the fuel required for you to continue your journey. Murphy number 2 and all the Murphy committee members do not want that to happen. So they do everything they can to inject you with this doubt, with this poverty consciousness, to get you to think that you can't afford it. You just can't do it. Don't buy another book. Don't buy another audio. Don't buy none of this stuff, because all that stuff is going to do is just drain your money, and nothing's going to happen for you anyway. So that's what Murphy number 2 does. And sure enough, there's a lot of people that's in the jungle, and they're injected by Murphy number 2. And even though they kind of like hang out in the jungle still a little bit, they don't even realize that they're already done. They don't even realize that they're gone already. They don't even realize it yet. But eventually, they're going to be back in the cow pastures too, because they're not going to make it by not allowing themselves to invest in themselves and move forward to make it happen. It's just not going to happen. Now, for the people who choose to continue to break through and continue to make it and continue to charge in the jungle, you're not done yet. So yes, you went to convention, you're going to all the events, everything is great. You're empowered, you're inspired. That's wonderful. But Murphy number 3 is going to go after you. And Murphy number 3 is a very fascinating committee member, because Murphy number 3 understands the whole concept that we are not logical. Murphy number 3 understands that we're emotional. So Murphy number 3 is going to attack you with something emotional, very emotional. And what Murphy number 3 did to me is got me in a situation where I fell in love with this beautiful young lady, and I wanted to take her through the jungle with me. I knew that we would make it to the land of paradise. I didn't really use those words, land of paradise and jungle, but I knew that I was going to make it, and I knew I was going to be successful, and I wanted to take her with me, and I was in love with her. But you know what? She did not want to have anything to do with anything about the jungle. She didn't like it. It was horrible. We didn't get a chance to eat dinner at the same time every night. It was chaotic as far as she's concerned. And I said, look, we just got to go through this for a little bit of time, and then we'll be able to really set ourselves up for life. And she was like, nope. And she made me an ultimatum. It's either me or it's, you come back to the cow pastures with me, basically, is basically what she was saying. Or, I'm out, basically. That was basically my ultimatum. And it was tough. Some of you think, oh, that's easy, Jerry, just leave her. No. It wasn't that. Even though we were just boyfriend, girlfriend type thing, we weren't married or anything like that. It was one of the toughest decisions because we got along real well. I loved her. She loved me, I believe. And it just didn't work out. And I just had to let her go. And it was tough. And I let her go, and I stayed in the jungle. Now, when you're in the jungle at this point, all the Murphy's Committee members, they are very impressed. They cannot believe what they're seeing. They're like, oh, my goodness, there's someone that's still in the jungle. Can you see this person here? This person is still in the jungle after all we put them through? They can't believe it. And right then you come up against this swamp. It's a swamp in the jungle. It's the nastiest swamp you've ever seen. It's disgusting. It smells bad and everything else, and there's no way you want to get in that swamp. But the only way forward for you to make it to the land of paradise is to go through that swamp. And the interesting thing about the swamp is when you're there, you can't even see that there is the land of paradise. So you start to have doubts like, maybe they just made this up. Maybe there's really no way to get here. Maybe I'm going to jump in this thing. I'm just going to drown. And you start having all those doubts and so forth. But you know what? Some people decide, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go for it because going back to the cow pastures is not an option for me. And so they jump in that swamp. That's what I did. I jumped in. I did swallow a little bit of that stuff. It was nasty and everything else. But I started moving forward. And then Murphy number 4 and 5, they are the masters of the swamp. And so what that means is that when you're in the swamp, when you're at that swamp, that's when you're really the closest to making it to the land of paradise. Murphy number 4 and 5, they know that. They are Siamese twins. They get together and they have general skills, whereas Murphy 1, 2, and 3 have very specialized skills. Remember, Murphy number 1, get your friends and family after you. Murphy number 2, poverty consciousness injection. Murphy number 3, emotionally attack you. Those are specialized skills. Murphy number 4 and 5, they are general. They can do everything that 1, 2, and 3 did, plus they can add other stuff. like, have the IRS audit you, have a family member die. I mean, all kinds of stuff that could happen while you are in this swamp. And if you stop at that point, it's all over for you. You'll never get back in. But if you continue to move forward, what's going to happen is eventually Murphy's committee, they're going to get tired of messing with you. And they're going to get together and have a little committee. And they're going to say, you know what? This person, Jerry, or this person, Dr. Stan, or this person, whatever your name is, or substitute your name, this person doesn't understand that they're not going to make it. So let's, we're just tired of messing with them. Let's let them go, and we'll get the next person. Boom, just like magic. All of a sudden, you find yourself walking in crystal clear blue water as the water is going up your toes, and you got the nice breeze going against your hair if you got some hair, and all of a sudden a nice AMG Mercedes-Benz super stretch limo pulls up to the beach, and you get in there, you got your significant other in there, you give you a little kiss, and all of a sudden your chauffeur starts driving you down the freeway. As you're driving down the freeway, all of a sudden you notice these other cars that are passing you. You notice that there are people in the cars that are looking to try to see who is in that limousine, but they can't see you because you have tinted windows, but you can see them, and you notice the lips, the expression. You can kind of lip read because it's very clear what they say. They look and they say, "Lucky folks." And you just look and you just smile and you just laugh and you just relax as your chauffeur continues to drive you to your estate. And eventually you pull up to this hill, and there's this gate. This gate opens, and all of a sudden you look down, and sure enough, that is your estate. And you have a 9-car garage, and you press a button where all the garages open at the same time. Why is that? So you can see all of your cars. And you got a Lamborghini parked in one spot, and you got a Ferrari parked in another spot, and you got a Bentley parked in another spot, and you got a Range Rover parked in another spot, and a couple of Mercedes, because that was one of your goals. So you have to have a couple of Mercedes, and you have, all the type of vehicles that you want are in this. And then your last vehicle, the last spot, is a super stretch spot for your super stretch limo. It pulls in, you get out, you proceed to your personal private elevator. And that elevator takes you up to the main entrance of your estate. And all of a sudden, when it opens, you see there is a beautiful view of the ocean. You look down and you notice you got your kids playing on the tennis courts that's down on in your land and your estate there. And it's just a beautiful situation. You see your checkbook right next to the phone there. And then all of a sudden, you look at it and you're just like, man, you see this awesome number just staring you in the face. This beautiful 8-figure number just sitting there, right there in your account. And that's just one of your accounts. And all of a sudden the phone rings, but you don't answer the phone, even though you're close by it. Your butler answered the phone instead. And your butler says, it's for you. So you pick up the phone, and all of a sudden you hear on the other side, you hear like a person that is a friend of yours who had a chance to enter the jungle with you, but told you were crazy, told you would never make it. And you hear them as they say the words, "I wish I had." And all of a sudden you look, you see in the ocean, you look back down, you seeing your kids on a tennis court, and you got your own private waterfall also right there. And all of a sudden you say to your friend, "I'm glad I did." And the whole point of this story is that eventually each and every last one of you are going to get to the point where you're either going to say, "I wish I had," or "I'm glad I did." You're going to say one of those. Your whole point that you want to kind of get to right now is make a decision of which one you're going to be. Are you going to be the person that's saying, "Man, I wish I had an opportunity. I remember I used to jump on those calls. It was really early, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what Dr. Stan's thinking of, but 7 o'clock in the morning, and that's in Texas, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning in California. And I mean, I had that opportunity. I was there. They were willing to teach me. They were willing to train me. I had the opportunity to go to those events. I had an opportunity to really plug into a great company with great products to be able to transform the quality of my life. I just didn't do it. Man, I wish I had. You're either going to say that, or you're going to say, "You know what? I'm glad I did. Yes, I went through some stuff. I got some rejection. I got some people tell me no, but enough people told me yes. I plugged in. I built some relationships, helped build some leaders, and some of those people are now living their dreams right on the land of paradise with me, and I'm getting a chance to live man, I'm so glad I did." You're either going to say one or two of those things. and you got to make a decision what you're going to say. Now, at this point here, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, okay, that's great. That's a great story, Jerry. But before we get off, because I know we're going to be getting off relatively soon here, you said that you're going to share with us how to plant empowering beliefs and philosophies in people's subconscious minds without them knowing that you're doing it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that that's what I've just done to you. I've just, by telling you, I want you to understand. Now, some of you don't really get this, but just by telling you that story, what I've done in that story deliberately is I've implanted all kinds of empowering, beliefs and philosophies in your subconscious mind. And you did not really understand that I was doing that. But that's what I was doing. Now, even though I'm telling you that I just did that, it's too late at this point. I've done it. It's there. And this is going to be getting conjured up as people tell you no, and you start thinking about, oh, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. You're going to think in your mind, you're going to hear, me. And by hearing that, that's going to help you say, you know what, I'm not a cow, I'm a rhino. I'm going to keep charging. It's going to just help you laugh a little bit, laugh it off, keep you in the game long enough to help you move through. Just this little bit of a story that I just gave you assist you in doing that. Now, for those of you who want to really kind of understand why this works and how your subconscious mind works and how your conscious mind works and how to get it to work for you even more powerfully and how to understand some of these things that this guy taught me after I spent 5 figures learning from him, I put together an audio program called Creating Magic, the Art of Designing Your Destiny. And what I'm going to do for all of you who are listening is you can go to my website and pick this up at a very special Dr. Breakthrough price that I'm going to give you. So you go to clubrhino.com, that's clubrhino.com, clubrhino.com, and you're going to click on where it says downloadable products. That's important. You click on the downloadable version because that's where you're going to get the special price. The very second product on that page is going to be Creating Magic. It's a 4 audio programs, downloadable. You'll be able to get it instantly once you pay. And you click on that, you'll notice that the regular price is $97. The sale price right now is $37. But for you, you guys are going to get it for $17. And this is only for a short time. The price is going to go up like every day. I'm going to increase that price from 17. So for those of you who are going to the link and you're listening to the replay, and you may be 2 or 3 days later, your price is going to be a little bit more than $17, but it's still going to be less than $37 up to a point. Then it's going to just get back to $37. So here's what you do. You got to enter, when you add this to your cart, you're going to enter a discount code. When you're filling out all your information, your credit card and all that stuff, you enter a discount code. I think it's towards the bottom where it's going to ask you for a discount code or a coupon code or something like that. And you just enter VIP. Just type that in, and then you'll click review. You'll click on it. It'll give you a chance to review your order, and you'll see that your price has gone down from $37 to $17, or it could be 18 or 19 or 20 or 21. Depends on when you're listening to this. Eventually, it's going to get back to 37. So if you listen to this long time from now, it's going to be the 37 or higher, and that's fine. It's worth it. That's already a highly discounted price. It's just for those of you who are listening now, I wanted to give you an extra special, for being on Dr. Breakthroughs, with Dr. Stan Harris and so forth and what he provides. And for being here, it's just a special for you guys. So once again, clubrhino.com. And then when you add Creating Magic, after you click on downloadable products to your shopping cart and you fill out the information, you just type in VIP. That's the code. That's a special code that's going to get you a reduced price. And that's going to really give you what I invested over $100,000 over a period of time, partly through this psychologist I was telling you about, and partly through other measures, and 14,000 hours to learn this. I'm going to show you exactly why it works, why it's powerful, and if you understand it, then you start using this, it's going to transform everything about what you're doing in your networking business. So there you go, Dr. Stan.
Wow. Wow. Now, some of you, if you want to know, some of you think that when I do some stuff is magical. Well, you can bet and believe that I got Creating Magic. and some of you, when I had Myron on the call, you're like, wow, this guy. Well, guess what? He had the same thing, Creating Magic. So all the probably everybody I've had just about has been in network marketing. If they were on this call, they've taken the course. They've been through that, creating magic. And you deserve, my friend, to be able to get that. And so go, like he said, clubrhino.com. Clubrhino.com. Don't let Murphy's Committee keep you from going now. All right. Click on the downloadable. Click on the downloadable. And like you said, it's normally 97, but it's going to be 37. However, you put the code in VIP. You do it today. See, he's giving you you get an advantage, a first mover's advantage. You get it only $17. $17. Well, you said, man, I barely got enough money for lunch. Okay, fast, skip your lunch, and get the program on creating magic so you can create some magic in your life. Okay, and I'm telling you, folks, don't allow Murphy's Committee. And Jerry, you know that rhino you talk about, that rhino's got the thickest skin on land among land animals. You know, we always talk about the shark here has got the thickest skin in the sea, in the water. But folks, again, you got to have some thick skin. You gotta hang in there, but not just hang. You got to climb. And, thank you very much, Jerry. This is masterful, my brother.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. And until next time, go, go, go.
Yeah, folks, this is great value. And so I want you to hurry up and go over. As a matter of fact, I posted on Facebook. I'll probably repost it. It said, some say they're loyal to greatness, but in reality, they have a mistress called average. Stop having affairs with mediocrity. Come on, somebody. So go ahead and jump. I'd rather choke on greatness than nibble on mediocrity. So go get creating magic that will help you on your way. And my friend, we've got Gloria Gillum on the line. I just got to give a special shout to her. She got started last month, kicking and screaming, like, no, I just joined this other business and no, I have no credibility with people. They're going to say, girl, what are you doing? You just and so she submitted, listen now, to her mentors. Remember, I tell you, a mentor can be your tormentor until you become an implementer. But she submitted, and guess what, my friend? Within a week, she made one of the top levels ambassador. 2 weeks later, she made global, and now yesterday she just made crown. And as a matter of fact, Jerry, they had a contest, and I called the guy. Now, I'm the chief breakthrough trainer for the company. The company's embraced my 21-day breakthrough challenge, and that's how I work with them. But I just decided to do a little something, you know. So anyway, I called the company. Yeah, I called the company, said, hey, send me my reward for winning the contest. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, I had 70 people last month. They said, well, one of the people you mentored beat you. You're in second place. I'm like, yeah, right. Said, no, Gloria, she's got 37. I was like, are you serious? I was like, wow, second place never felt so good. And now she just made crown ambassador. So she's one of those ones charging through the jungle, and many others of you as well, doing some incredible things, folks. I'm telling you, this is something you have to have in your arsenal. And again, you've heard it masterfully. So Jerry, I did that whole piece, that frustration. I did a Charlie Tremendous Jones, and that is, I wrote it down the way it applies to me. But frustration leads to transformation when you implement powerful education and information. And